I just met with some of the outstanding leaders and teams from across the community who worked so long and so hard to make that raid a success. And I'm pleased today that we're joined by representatives from all of our intelligence agencies. And that folks are watching this live back at all of those agencies, because this truly was a team effort. That's not always the case in Washington. But all of you work together every single day. This is one of the few times when all these leaders and organizations have the occasion to appear together publicly. And so I thank all of you for coming because I think it's so important for the American people to see all of you here today. Part of the challenge of intelligence work is, by necessity, your work has to remain secret. I know that carries a heavy burden. You're often the first ones to get the blame when things go wrong. And you're always the last ones to get the credit when things go right. So when things do go right, and they do more often than the world will ever know, we ought to celebrate your success. That's why I came here. I wanted every single one of you to know, whether you work at the CIA or across the community. At every step of our effort to take out bin Laden, the work you did and the quality of the intelligence that you provided made the critical difference to me, to our team on those helicopters, to our nation. After I directed that getting bin Laden be the priority, you hunkered down even more. Building on years of painstaking work, pulling together, in some cases, the slenderest of intelligence streams. running those threads to ground until you found that courier and you tracked him to that compound. And when I was briefed last summer, you had built the strongest intelligence case against in terms of where bin Laden was since Tora Bora. In the months that followed, including all those meetings in the Situation Room, we did what sound intelligence demands, we pushed for more collection. We pushed for more evidence. We questioned our assumptions. You strengthened your analysis. You didn't bite your tongue and try to spin the ball, but you gave it to me straight each and every time. And we did something really remarkable in Washington. We kept it a secret. That's how it should be. Of course, when the time came to actually make the decision, we didn't know for sure that bin Laden was there. The evidence was circumstantial and the risks. Especially to the lives of our Special Operations Forces, were huge. And I knew that the consequences of failure could be enormous. But I made the decision that I did because I had absolute confidence in the skill of our military personnel and I had confidence in you. I put my bet on you. And now the whole world knows that that faith in you was justified. So just as impressive as what you did was how you did it. It was a tribute to your perseverance, your relentless focus and determination over many years. For the fight against Al-Qaeda did not begin on September 11th. Among you are veterans who've been pursuing these murderers for many years. Even before they attacked our embassies in Africa and struck the USS Cole in Yemen. Among you are young men and women for whom 9/11 was a call to service. This fight has defined your generation. And on this wall are stars honoring all your colleagues and friends. More than a dozen who have given their lives in the fight against Al-Qaeda and its violent allies. As the years wore on, others began to think that this terrorist might never be brought to justice. But you never quit. You never gave up. You pulled together across this agency and across the community. No one piece of information and no one agency made this possible. You did it together: CIA, National Security Agency, National Reconnaissance Office. The National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, everyone at ODNI, and the National Counterterrorism Center. Folks across the country, civilian and military, so many of you here today. And that's exactly how our intelligence community is supposed to work, using every capability. Human, technical collecting, analyzing, sharing, integrating intelligence, and then acting on it. That's what made this one of the greatest intelligence successes in American history. And that's why intelligence professionals are going to study and be inspired by your achievement for generations to come. Now, make no mistake, this is not over. Because we not only took out the symbol and operational leader of Al-Qaeda, we walked off with his files, the largest treasure trove of intelligence ever seized from a terrorist leader. Many of you now are working around the clock. You didn't have much time to celebrate. We've got to analyze and evaluate and exploit this mountain of intelligence. So today, every terrorist in the Al-Qaeda network should be watching their back. Because we're going to review every video, we are going to examine every photo. We're going to read every one of those millions of pages, we're going to pursue every lead. We are going to go wherever it takes us. We're going to finish the job. We are going to defeat Al-Qaeda. Even as we stay focused on this mission, we need you to stay nimble and flexible to meet the full range of threats to our security, from plots against our homeland to nations seeking weapons. Of mass destruction to transnational threats such as cybercriminals and narco-traffickers. So I'm going to keep relying on you for your intelligence. The analysis that comes across my desk every single day. And 300+ million Americans are counting on you to stay. A step ahead of our adversaries and to keep our country safe. I have never been more proud or more confident in you than I am today, not just because this extraordinary success, but because it reminds us of who we are as a people and as a nation. You reminded us that when we Americans set our mind to something, when we are focused and when we are working together, when we're not worried about who's getting the credit and when we stay true to our values. Even if it takes years, there is nothing we cannot do. That's why I still believe in what I said my first visit here 2 years ago, your greatest days are still to come. And if any of you doubt what this means, I wish I could have taken some of you on the trip I made to New York City. where we laid a wreath at Ground Zero. And I had a chance to meet firefighters who had lost an entire shift, police officers who had lost their comrades, a young woman. "14 years old, who had written to me because her last memory of her father was talking to him on the phone while her mother wept beside her, right before they watched the tower go down. And she and other members of families of 9/11 victims talked about what this meant. It meant that their suffering had not been forgotten. And that the American community stands with them, that we stand with each other. So most of you will never get headlines for the work that you do. You won't get ticker tape parades. But as you go about your work with incredible diligence and dedication every single day, I hope all of you understand how important it is. How grateful I am, and that you have the thanks of a grateful nation. God bless you. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you. Barack Obama. Keynote address at the Civil Rights Summit. Delivered April 10, 2014, Lyndon Baines Johnson Library, Austin, Texas. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Please, please, have a seat. Thank you. What a singular honor it is for me to be here today. I want to thank, first and foremost, the Johnson family for giving us this. opportunity and the graciousness with which Michelle and I have been received. We came down a little bit late because we were upstairs looking at some of the exhibits and some of the private offices that were used by President Johnson and MRS. Johnson and Michelle was in particular interested to of a recording. In which Lady Bird is critiquing President Johnson's performance. And she said, "Come, come, you need to listen to this." And she pressed the button and nodded her head. Some things do not change even 50 years later. To all the members of Congress, the warriors for justice. The elected officials and community leaders who are here today, I want to thank you. "4 days into his sudden presidency and the night before he would address a joint session of the Congress in which he once served, Lyndon Johnson sat around a table with his closest advisers. Preparing his remarks to a shattered and grieving nation. He wanted to call on senators and representatives to pass a civil rights bill, the most sweeping since Reconstruction. And most of his staff counseled him against it. They said it was hopeless, that it would anger powerful Southern Democrats and committee chairmen. That it risked derailing the rest of his domestic agenda. And one particularly bold aide said he did not believe a president should spend his time and power on lost causes, however worthy they might be. To which, it is said, President Johnson replied, "Well, what the hell's the presidency for?" 1. What the hell's the presidency for if not to fight for causes you believe in?